The first time I noticed her, it wasn't because she was beautiful. It was because she remembered I hated cinnamon in my coffee, even though I had only ever been to this quiet corner cafe 3 times in my life. Flat white, no dusting, she'd murmured to the barista before I even reached the counter. Like she wasn't doing me a favor, like it was a fact that simply existed in her mind. That was 2 weeks ago. I've come back every morning since. It's always the same time. Slow, pre-commute hours, where early risers have left, but office people haven't arrived yet. She sits near the window, not reading, not scrolling, just resting her hand around a cup for too long. As if warmth itself is enough reason to delay movement. She looks maybe mid-40s. Self-contained. The kind of person whose silence has gravity. I pretend to check emails. I don't actually open anything. I just wait for the moment where she glances up to the door before anyone enters, like she senses a change in air pressure before people appear. She never looks at me directly first, but somehow, she always knows I'm there. Today, she spoke first. "You always sit by the wall." Her voice is soft. Observational. Not conversation, just noticing something aloud. I glance at the space, the wall behind me is blank, just texture. "Feels less exposed," I say. Immediate regret. That sounded more revealing than I meant it to. But she simply nods. Not pitying. Just acknowledging. She takes a slow sip. I notice she always holds her cup with both hands, as if anchoring herself. No ring. No jewelry at all. It's absurd, the things I memorize about her. The way she gently spins the coffee lid before opening it, one full circle, always clockwise. The way her eyes don't soften when she smiles, not in a cold way, more like vulnerability costs energy. She asks nothing personal. Not where I work. Not what I study. Like she knows those are camouflage questions. Instead, "You hesitated before sitting today. I thought you might already be here." I say it before my brain approves it. Her eyes briefly flick to my hands on the table, my thumb tapping against my phone rhythmically. That is apparently enough for her to understand something no one else seems to catch. "Do you wait for people often?" There's no judgment in it. Just quiet, clinical curiosity, like she's asking about my breathing pattern. I wait for replies I already know won't come. That comes out before I can soften it. Something changes in her face, not pity, recognition. She just nods once. Then, she does something she's never done before. She stands up. Picks up her cup. Walks past me, then stops. Without looking at me, just softly, as if telling the air, "Tomorrow. Same time. Sit by the window instead." She leaves before I can reply. I stare at the hand-printed warmth her cup left on the wooden table. And that's when my phone vibrates. An unknown number. I swipe to read. She called his number. But another woman answered. "Our husband is busy." I don't realize I'm still holding my breath. The next morning, I sit by the window before she arrives. It feels wrong, like I've trespassed into her gravity. The chair is still faintly warm from someone before me. I keep checking the door every few seconds, pretending not to. My reflection in the glass moves more than my actual body. My thumb keeps circling the rim of my cup, a repetition almost like breathing. She arrives without a sound. Not a scent. Not even the pre-arrival pause she usually has, the one where she scans the room before choosing a seat. She just walks straight to the table like this was always where she expected me to be. No greeting. Just a small exhale, like a quiet yes only she heard. She sets down her drink before sitting, but this time, she doesn't hold it immediately. "I used to sit here, you know," she says quietly. "Before I started avoiding windows." I wait. She doesn't continue. It feels too personal to ask. So instead, I shift my cup slightly toward her, almost matching the distance hers is from her hands. She finally sits. My son is 23, she says, eyes on the street outside. Not looking at me. He hasn't spoken to me properly in almost 2 years. That's all. No explanation. No invitation for sympathy. She's not telling me something painful. She's telling me something permanent. I don't speak. I just straighten my posture, not even sure why, as if respecting the weight of something invisible. A beat. Then, unexpectedly, she asks, "Who didn't reply to you?" The question doesn't sting. It lands gently, like she's asking which season I prefer. My mother, I say. She calls, but never says anything. Just waits for me to fill the silence. So sometimes I don't pick up. And then I wait too long. And then it becomes harder. She doesn't blink. No advice. No reaction. Just quiet, listening stillness, which somehow feels more intimate than comfort. I understand, she finally says. Silence can be a kind of anger. A server brings water to the table. She thanks him politely, but her fingers tighten slightly when the glasses clink against the wood. A subtle flinch. I don't mention it. But I know she saw that I saw. We don't speak for a long while. People walk past the window. Someone rushes. Someone laughs too loudly. Our table is strangely, quietly still in comparison, like a held breath inside a rushing street. Then she reaches, not for her drink, but for the lid. Gently, she twists it anti-clockwise this time. Her rituals have changed. I don't know why that moment stayed with me, I think, watching her avoid my gaze, maybe because it felt like someone finally saw me. We stand to leave at almost the same time. She reaches to adjust her scarf, and for a fraction of a second, her hand brushes against my wrist. She doesn't apologize. She just looks, once, eyes holding mine for half a heartbeat longer than safe. Then, tomorrow, she murmurs. Don't bring your phone. She wasn't there the next day. I sat by the window. No phone, like she asked. Just hands. Just time. The absence felt louder than any presence. 20 minutes. Then 30. Then long enough that the cafe's rhythm shifted, morning quiet replaced by laptop conversations and spoons on saucers. I finally reached instinctively, to where my phone would have been. Caught myself mid-motion. Fist closed over nothing. I almost left. Then, she walked in. Not from the front. From the side entrance. A door I'd never even noticed before. She didn't look at me right away. She scanned the room differently today, slower. As if searching for what might have changed. When her eyes finally met mine, it wasn't surprise. It was assessment. She approached, not sitting, just standing beside the table. You came without your phone, she said softly. Not praise. Just inventory. You said not to. Her gaze flicked, just once, to the empty space on the table where it should have been. A brief, unreadable exhale. She sat. But this time, not across from me. Beside me. Not too close, but entirely different. I almost didn't come, she said. The first confession that cost her something. Why? I ask. Silence. Her fingers rest against the cup. Not around it. Just lightly touching, not committing to the warmth. You are very young. I swallow. She's never said it out loud before. Before I can answer, someone walks in. A young woman, maybe my age, bright, careless energy. She knows the barista, waves loudly, bumps into a chair on the way. Real, messy, alive. She sees me. Aram? Hey, I thought that was you. She laughs lightly, stepping closer. I forget to breathe for a second. The woman beside me doesn't move. Doesn't look. Doesn't exist to this new person. Casual girl keeps talking. Something about last semester. Something loud enough that the air feels wrong. I give short answers. Too short. I'm aware of the woman beside me, still, silent, presence burning like a second pulse under the table. Then, casual girl notices her. Oh, sorry, is this your, just leave, I say. Too sharply. Both women hear what I'd meant to hide. Casual girl blinks, startled, mutters something, and walks away. Silence. Dense. I turn, ready to apologize, but she speaks first. You should answer kindly, she says. The words aren't rebuke. More like a memory. I didn't want her to misunderstand, she finishes for me. Her tone is unreadable. A silence stretches. This time, she pulls her hand back from the cup. Almost completely. Like retreating. I feel it, the shift. Fear, not of her, but of losing this unnamed thing before it ever forms. I start. She waits. I don't know what this is. I didn't mean to say that. Her eyes finally meet mine. Slow. Unblinking. Almost, unbearably, sad. You're not supposed to. And then, she almost reaches for my hand. Her fingers hover. A breath away from contact. Not touching. Not yet. She leaves them there, suspended, before pulling back. Not rejection. A warning. We walk without planning to. Not side by side, not really. There's a careful space between us that feels alive. Late afternoon light, not romantic, just tired, honest. The kind of hour where people either go home, or avoid it. We don't decide a direction. Our bodies just move. A nearby park. Not crowded. Faint smell of wet leaves. The kind of air where sound doesn't travel far. She stops by an empty bench. Doesn't sit. Neither do I. There was a time I couldn't walk outside without being recognized, she says. It sounds like it belongs to someone else's life. She watches a child attempt to climb a low tree. Fails. Tries again. My husband was well known, she adds. Not not late. No label. Just past tense that refuses to be explained. I don't ask. I'm afraid she'll answer. She shifts, hands folded loosely in front of her, almost defensive, almost prayer-like. It took me 3 years to be able to go anywhere without being someone's responsibility. She glances at me then, not long, just enough to ask something unspoken, and yet I'm here. With you. What am I doing? I swallow. The wind moves her hair slightly. She doesn't fix it. My friends keep asking where I disappear to every morning, I say quietly. Her attention sharpens, almost imperceptibly. And what do you tell them? That I'm trying to remember something I haven't lived yet. She breathes in, sharply. A flicker. Something very close to fear. That is when it happens. She looks away. Too quickly. That's the giveaway, not the movement, the panic beneath the discipline. I should, she starts. But doesn't step back. Instead, she sits. The bench is cold. She flinches at the contact, but doesn't adjust. Like she deserves the discomfort. I sit beside her. Careful. Not touching. Breathing like it has consequences. There's a moment where she wants to speak, visibly, but her jaw locks instead. So I say, quietly, did you come today because you wanted to? There's a pause. An answer assembles slowly in her eyes before it reaches her throat. I came because I knew I would regret not coming. The honesty is sharp. Too sharp. A silence breaks over us, not empty, dangerous. She turns her head. Meets my eyes fully this time. No hesitation. No half-beat. Just direct. Do you expect something from me? No accusation. A genuine question. I feel my heartbeat climb into my throat. I don't know, I whisper. Truth, raw and unprepared. Something I can't name yet. She closes her eyes. Just once. A surrender no one else would notice. Her hand shifts. Not toward me. But open. Unguarded. Waiting. Not an invitation. A warning. If I move, if I bridge the final inch, there will be no going back. Her eyes open, fixed on me. And for the briefest moment, she doesn't move away. A permission, or a mistake. She doesn't come the next day. Nor the one after. I go anyway. Same seat. Same hour. The cafe feels different now, too bright, too full of movement. Like I'm suddenly aware of every sound that isn't her. On the third morning, I convince myself I won't go. I still walk there. But I don't enter. I watch from across the street instead, a stupid, quiet hope, waiting for a shape I could recognize even in silhouette. She doesn't appear. No message. No sign. And that's when I notice, the barista is wiping down the window seat we always avoided. The one she refused to sit at. It's empty. Not saved. Just irrelevant. Something goes weightless inside me. Not falling. Just, suspended. Like the moment before a faint, air gone from the lungs but not from the world. I don't enter. I walk. Aimlessly. Hands in pockets. Head down. The city feels sharper without her. It takes me a full hour before I realize where I've gone. A neighborhood I don't belong in. Older houses. Taller trees. Quiet enough to hear hesitation. And there she is. Not across the street. Not in a window. At her front door. Standing. Holding keys. Not unlocking. Frozen. She sees me. And the expression isn't shock. It's something closer to, I knew you'd find me eventually. I just didn't think it would be today. Slowly, she lowers her hand. Doesn't smile. Doesn't frown. Just opens the door. Looks at me. But doesn't invite me in. Just says, you shouldn't be here. Her voice is calm. Final. But her hands won't stop trembling. I waited, I say. Quiet. Not accusing. Just existing. I know. Not denial. Not explanation. Just acceptance, and some unbearable second meaning I'm not ready to understand. A sound inside the house. Small. Childlike. Not a voice, but movement. Something gentle. Familiar. Her eyes flick back, past me, to the street. She steps outside fully and closes the door behind her before I can see inside. My breath dies mid-inhale. She doesn't explain. Doesn't have to. Something, or someone, was in there. Someone she had never mentioned. Her voice is soft, but this time, it's not distant. It's pleading. Please leave. A pause. Not cruelty. A kind of mercy meant to hurt less. I don't move. She adds, even softer, before I can't make you. I step back. Not because I want to. Because I understand what not leaving would mean. She watches me go. Doesn't chase. Doesn't look away. Just holds the door, like if she lets go, everything will spill out. And for the first time since I met her, she looks afraid. I don't feel heartbroken. I feel paused. Like life forgot to finish the sentence. It rains the next morning. Not storming, just steady, private rain. The kind that makes people move slower, softer. I go back anyway. Not to the cafe. To her street. I don't expect anything. I tell myself I'll just walk past. I don't. She's outside. Not waiting. Just standing beneath the awning, umbrella closed in her hand but unopened. Like she didn't step out because of the rain, but despite it. She sees me, this time before I see her. She doesn't look surprised. Just tired. Like she hasn't slept. We don't move closer. We just stand in the light rain, a cautious distance apart, one step away from what could still be reversed. Her voice arrives before her expression does. He's my son. My chest doesn't tighten, it settles. Not the son she mentioned. Another. Younger. Still in the house. I say nothing. She continues, only because silence has always been safer with me. He doesn't like when strangers enter. She's not explaining. She's confessing the shape of her life, and the reason she never lets anyone too far into it. I nod. Not to accept. Just to say I heard you. Then, she breathes in. Just once. Her first visible act of courage. You shouldn't keep coming, she says, but this time it sounds like she doesn't believe her own words. I know. She waits. Her eyes search my face, for disappointment, for need, for anything she might not be able to carry. I give her nothing that could break her. Only honesty. I would rather be someone you don't have to hide from. She closes her eyes. That was the risk. Not the desire. The gentleness. When she opens them again, she steps forward. One small step. Barely distance. But enough that I can feel the warmth of her breath in the cold rain. Her hand doesn't reach. But her voice does. I don't know how to let people stay without hurting them. I didn't come for safety, I answer. Quiet. Certain. I came because I miss feeling real. She inhales sharply. Something unclenches in her shoulders. Rain gathers in her hair. She doesn't brush it away. Seconds pass. She doesn't invite me in. She doesn't ask me to leave. She just nods. Once. And for the first time, not restraint. Permission. She doesn't touch me. Only a gaze. Held. Steady. Unafraid. There is no resolution. Only this, a silent acknowledgement between two people who both know they are stepping into something that cannot remain untouched. She says, okay. And it is the most human thing I have ever heard. It doesn't become dramatic after that day. No sudden declarations. No confessions. Just small changes, subtle shifts in routine, like the light tilting slightly with the slow turn of the earth. She doesn't return to the cafe. I stop going too. Instead, we meet on the quiet street before the world wakes up. 8:47 a.m. exactly. Not planned. Just, inevitable. Sometimes she stands beneath the awning, sometimes she's already walking, sometimes I arrive first and simply wait, no anxiety now, just a stillness I didn't know I was capable of. We don't always speak. But when she does, it's different now. Not cautious. Not confessional. Just, present. I learn the way she tilts her head slightly when she's listening, deeper than hearing. I learned she doesn't like tea in the mornings anymore, she switched back to black coffee without sugar. She never says why. I learned that silence with her doesn't mean avoidance. It often means honesty. One morning, weeks later, we sit again on that same park bench. Same position. Same unspoken awareness of proximity. But this time, She doesn't stop me when I sit close enough for my shoulder to almost, not quite, brush hers. The air is warm. Early sunlight. Someone far away walking a dog. She speaks first. My son asked who I was meeting. I turn. She's looking forward, not at me. And what did you say? A pause. Calm. Not hesitant, just careful. I said, someone who makes me feel normal. A soft exhale. I haven't used that word in years. Something moves quietly inside my chest. Not victory. Recognition. We don't call it love. We don't try to name it. We just let it exist. Because naming things demands ownership. And this, whatever it is, feels less like possession, more like permission. Time continues. We don't cross boundaries recklessly, but we no longer pretend they don't exist. Sometimes I walk her home. I never cross the gate. Sometimes she stops at the cafe door with me, the one we never enter again, and just looks at the window where neither of us ever sat. And one morning, without warning, she reaches for my hand. Not holding it. Just touching, briefly. Simply. A quiet I'm not running anymore. I don't close my fingers around hers. I just let it happen. Let the moment breathe. Let it belong to us. Not forever. Just, fully. Later, as we part, she turns back, and says something she has never said before. Not a promise. Just a certainty. Tomorrow. Not a question. A fact. And for the first time I don't feel like I'm waiting for something, I feel like I'm already in it.